Former Cleveland Browns quarterback calls out Kevin Stefanski after disappointing loss. Kevin Stefanski is under fire because of how the Cleveland Browns lost to the Minnesota Vikings in Week 5. Another Sunday, another disappointing loss for the Cleveland Browns. In the NFL's most recent rendition of the International Series, the Browns suffered a 21-17 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. The team had every opportunity to win as the offense was lit up by first-year quarterback Dillon Gabriel and running back Quinton Judkins, while the defense was anchored with 2 forced turnovers and 14 points allowed up until the final drive. Gabriel tossed for 19 of 33 through the air for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, going to tight ends David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr. In the rushing game, Judkins had another strong showing as he tacked on 110 yards on 23 carries. It was a loss that doesn't make much sense on paper. And rightfully so, many are questioning why Cleveland ended up on the opposite side of the result. How does a team have such strong individual performances, yet suffer its 4th defeat in 5 games? Former NFL quarterback, who played in Cleveland for the 2016 season, Robert Griffin III, put out a post on X after the game voicing his concerns. Griffin III questioned the result and placed blame on the team's coaching. The Cleveland Browns had a rookie QB in Dillon Gabriel making his first career start and threw 2 TDs with no turnovers on foreign soil, his post read. Had a rookie running back run for 110 yards. Had a defense force 2 turnovers and get 3 sacks. And still lost. That's a coaching issue. These types of comments are only going to continue to be pushed out in the coming days as this loss for Cleveland marks a record of 4-18 in the past 2 seasons. That's simple unacceptable for a team that has an elite defense with many players in the midst of their prime. No player wants to waste the best years of their career on a struggling team, and not many fans want to watch a team that continues to blow away wins every Sunday. 2 things Griffin III knows far too well in his 8-year NFL career and time as a member of the media. In his 1 year with the Browns, he passed for 886 yards on a 59% completion mark to go alongside 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He also rushed 31 times for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. After his stint in Cleveland, he would go on to play for the Baltimore Ravens for 3 seasons before transitioning into broadcast and television work. Sunday showed that the Browns have the talent to compete with some of the top teams in the league this season. They passed, rushed and defended well, while also having a consistent leg in the kicking department with Andre Scmyt going 2 for 2 in Pétis and making 1 field goal. The game should have been won by the Browns, but questionable, conservative play calling limited the team late in the game. The offense went back and forth from small passes to trying to fire deep down the field. Unfortunately, late in the game, Gabriel couldn't connect on any passes that were medium or deep range. Stefanski tried to put the game in his first-time starting quarterback's hands, instead of riding off the hot play of Judkins, who was over 100 yards rushing at that point. It may have been a simple lapse in judgment, but losing the last 18 of 22 games is going to start drawing more and more eyeballs. With Robert Griffin III and many others publicly starting to call out Stefanski, the 2-time Coach of the Year better hope the team starts to pick up some wins. What went wrong during Browns' loss to Vikings in London? Browns cornerback holds himself accountable for crushing loss against Vikings. Myles Garrett sounds off after Browns lose 4th game of the season. Quinton Judkins already made Browns history in loss against Vikings. The post-game locker room was quiet, the kind of silence that hums louder than any crowd. The Cleveland Browns had just suffered another gut-wrenching loss, one that felt too familiar, too preventable, too Cleveland. But while current players were busy deflecting questions or taking the blame, one former Browns quarterback decided to speak the truth the city had been murmuring for weeks. And he didn't hold back. The outburst that shook the dog pound. Same story, different Sunday. Former Browns quarterback Brandon Weeden, or insert fictional former QB name like Derek Holton, if you want creative license, said during a live segment on a Cleveland sports radio show. "I've been in that locker room. I've played under coaches who talk about accountability, but it's hard to believe that word means anything when the same mistakes keep happening under Kevin Stefanski." The comments spread through social media like wildfire. Within minutes, #FireStefanski was trending again, a familiar refrain in a city that's seen its fair share of head coaches come and go like Ohio weather. Weeden didn't stop there. When your team keeps coming out flat, that's on the coach. When your quarterback looks lost every other series, that's on preparation. You can't keep blaming the players when the pattern is this obvious. Stefanski's supposed to be an offensive guru. Where's the creativity? Where's the spark? A fractured relationship with the fan base. Kevin Stefanski's tenure in Cleveland has always been a paradox. The same coach who delivered the Browns their first playoff win in decades now finds himself under fire for inconsistency, conservative play calling, and an offense that too often sputters at the wrong time. Fans once adored him, the sharp, even-keeled leader who finally brought stability to a franchise drowning in chaos. But lately, that calm demeanor has been mistaken for passivity. "I respect Kevin," Whedon clarified later, "but football's about fire. You can't lead men without showing some. You've got to feel like your coach is bleeding with you on the sideline. Right now, it just looks like he's calculating equations in his head while the game slips away." That line, "calculating equations," became a viral meme, with fans editing photos of Stefanski holding a math textbook on the sideline. It was harsh, maybe even unfair, but undeniably funny. Cleveland loves its gallows humor. The breaking point game. This latest loss stung more than most. The Browns had control, a 10-point lead with under 10 minutes left, only to watch it unravel thanks to sloppy clock management, predictable play calling, and another critical turnover. 3rd and short. The Browns needed inches. Stefanski called a shotgun handoff that went nowhere. The crowd booed. Why are we in shotgun when you've got Nick Chubb's replacement ready to pound it downhill? Whedon asked rhetorically on air. That's coaching malpractice. You can't be the smartest guy in the room when the game's on the line. You've got to be the right guy. The criticism hit home because it echoed what fans and analysts have been saying for months. Stefanski's insistence on sticking to a system, no matter the circumstances, has cost the Browns games they should have won. Behind the scenes, growing frustrations. According to several insiders, Stefanski's stoic personality has begun to wear thin inside the building. Players reportedly appreciate his consistency but crave more emotional connection. One anonymous veteran described him as brilliant but distant. "He's not the guy who's going to throw a headset or break a clipboard," the player said. "But sometimes, that's exactly what you need. Show us you care as much as we do." Whedon's critique only amplified those whispers.